Hello, Stalkers. 1 2 1 2. Can everybody hear me? Tell me if you can hear me. Please. Is this working? I hope it's working. Alright, perfect. It's working. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. My very first stream. So that's why I'm trying to figure out if everything works. Thank you for being here. We're gonna wait a few minutes for more people to join us. So yeah, very first stream. Short story is that I couldn't stream before because my internet connection was too bad and it didn't allow for it. But now I managed to install a better connection. So yeah, hello everybody. Coin, Kairos, Spartan Mozzie, T-Lap is here as well. Super Bess is here. Thomas, everybody welcome. I'm so glad to be here. So yeah, for 5 years I couldn't stream and I didn't even think about it because I knew it was impossible. But now everything is gonna change. And yeah, today marks the 5th anniversary of the channel. The channel was started on January 10th, 2020. Time flies, right? Yeah, I got better internet, much better. Managed to get optic fiber, yeah. Yeah, there's no face reveal because, well, I don't think it's necessary. And also, I don't even have a webcam, so even if I wanted to, I couldn't show you. Yeah, it's been 5 years. Time flies, right? So the plan for this stream, I didn't plan anything too fancy because since it's the first stream, so I'm gonna try something very simple for the beginning. So basically, I did a community post a few days ago asking for your questions. So you sent me a lot of questions. I have like more than 100 of them. So I'm just gonna go through them and answer them, and also try to answer as many questions from the chat as possible. That's basically the plan for this stream. But trust me, it's gonna be a long one because over 100 questions, and some of them will, need elaborate answers, I think. So it's gonna be a long one. Did I finish my second playthrough? Yeah, I mean my third playthrough, kind of. Because, I mean, not really. I say kind of because I did a lot of backtracking. Like, play a portion of the game, then reload a save like many hours ago, and then play again differently. So it's like portions of playthroughs, But I'm actually in my third playthrough. Did you play it after the A-Life patches? Yeah, right now I'm playing on the last patches we have, so yeah, I'm updating it as soon as the patches come, of course. Oh, Krezin is here! Man, it's been a long time since I saw you. How are you doing? Oh, Stalker Arsenal. Oh yeah, that didn't go as planned. I was supposed to cover weapon upgrades next, and I never got around to do it. Fun fact, I actually started working on this video. I made the research for it. I screenshotted every single upgrade in all the games, except Stalker 2, of course, because it was before that. But things didn't really turn out as planned, so never got around to do it. Yeah, I got a new PC for Stalker 2, especially built for it. Ward, Noontide, and Spark were a last-minute replacement for Duty, Monolith, and Freedom. Hell no! No way. No way, that was planned way before in advance. What would you wait from GSC in terms of polishing and refinement in game? Well, that's a very broad question. So yeah, I think they're gonna put a little bit of polish and refinement everywhere. Sprinkle it in every aspect. Favorite character in the game so far in Stalker 2? I think my favorite character is Professor Lodoshka. Richter or Hermit? Well, I haven't met Hermit in the game. Is he in the game? I know there are notes about him, but is he actually physically in the game? Okay, well guys, I need to get to the questions that people asked me first before the chat. Oh, he is. Okay, nice. I need to find him. I didn't finish all endings. I still need to do the Spark ending, which I'm doing in my third playthrough. Okay, guys, I need to get to the questions I promised I would answer. So hold on. Let me show you this. It should be working now. Normally you can see the question. It's very basic setup. It's just images, screenshots that I took. I'm just gonna answer all the questions like this. All right. Okay. Let's get started. So guys, keep your questions for a bit later. I think I'm gonna do pauses between the questions that I show here that were from my post, so that I can answer questions from the chat. All right, let's start because it's gonna be a long one. So let's just get started. So aside from the Stalker series, what are any other game series you are into as well? Well, ever since I started my channel, I've basically only been playing Stalker 2. Stalker, and now Stalker 2. Yeah, I kind of dropped all other games just to focus on Stalker. But before that, I played a lot of different games. If I had to choose another series besides Stalker, that would probably be Half-Life, right? Very, very nice FPS franchise as well. And Stalker draws a lot of inspiration from it. Alright, next question. If you could change any of your real-life possessions into an artifact, what item would you change and what would its attributes be? Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, gives an example. Strange belt increases carry weight. Ooh, that's interesting. Ooh, I haven't thought about it. I think, any kind of stat boosts you can get in real life with machines and stuff. Let's say you need more carry weight, you can use a vehicle like a car to carry more stuff. So I wouldn't go for something like that. I think one thing that is very important is health, so getting an artifact that would guarantee you don't get sick, I think would be very valuable. What kind of object would it be? I don't really know. It could be anything. Something that I often wear is a cap. So I'd say if I wear my Anomalous cap, I can't get sick. That would be my answer. All right. I love your channel. Well, thank you, man. Thank you. Thanks a lot. When we getting new lore videos? Oh, that one is a big question. Everybody's been asking this. How to say this? When it's time, when they are ready. I can't tell you when it's gonna be. For the moment, I'm still researching the game and collecting information in the game. And there's a lot of stuff to do. A lot of stuff to connect, like points of lore to connect, and like things that I'm still missing. For example, I've been trying to collect all the PDA entries, but you can easily miss some very important ones. So yeah, it's taking a long time, but I'm definitely planning to make some lore videos, of course. I can't tell you when it's gonna be for real. I don't know. And I actually think I'm gonna start with videos that are not really lore. Like these are not the first videos I'm gonna make on Stalker 2. Oh, you can unlock all PA entries with commands? Oh, you need to teach me that trick. But I mean, finding them gives context to them, right? Like if you unlock them but you don't know where they are found, it will be... I mean, you don't really know in what context you're supposed to find them, you know what I mean? But yeah, that would be very helpful, actually. Will I do a vid on playing multiplayer? Well, I mean, now that I have a good internet connection, I'm sure the boys at the bar will be, organizing some tournaments. So I can probably do something about that. I'll probably hop into a few games, multiplayer games. Okay, let's continue. What would be a faction you would want to be fleshed out more in a possible story, bonus content, DLC? For me, for example, I would love to see more duty and freedom content. Yeah, I mean, it's true that duty and freedom kind of got the short end of the stick, right? But I expected as much. We knew from the trailers that the focus was gonna be put on the new factions. So yeah, I agree. I think duty and freedom could use a bit more, I don't know, quests and things tied to them. So yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that one. What inspired you to make Stalker videos and how you got into this franchise? Oh, that's a long story. So to keep it short, I discovered the franchise, I think it was in 2012. Yeah, 2012. Something like that. Basically, I was watching a YouTuber who was doing Let's Plays, and he happened to make a Let's Play on Shadow of Chernobyl. And that's how I discovered the game and the franchise. And I really liked it, so I bought all 3 games and played the hell out of it. That's how I got into it. And what inspired me to make Stalker videos? Well, a lack of good videos, I would say, on the topic. Like basically, I was very interested in Stalker for a long time, but I couldn't find some of the videos I would like to watch on YouTube, right? So I decided to make them myself. Like all the topics that I thought were like not talked about enough, or not like analyzed enough, or not shown enough, I decided to show them myself. Basically, that's what I did. And this is why I really don't like to cover topics that have already been made by someone else in their videos. I try to make videos on stuff that has not been made yet, or at least like add something to it that just add something. Yeah, that's my inspiration and my inner flame, if you could say that. Okay, which of the new artifacts did you like the most, either appearance or effect, maybe both? Oh, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of new artifacts, and I think they're all fine, but I didn't find any of them that were really standing out to me like some of them were in the original trilogy. So I'm not sure what to answer, to be honest. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I guess I'm gonna say the compass, because it's just really cool. It was always cool, and it's still cool in Stalker 2. I'm gonna say the compass. And it gives like really nice protection. Okay, what is your favorite unique weapon from the original Stalker Trilogy or Stalker 2? Ooh, I don't know. I mean, from the original trilogy, I think probably Strelok's SGI 5K from Call of Pripyat. I really like this weapon in general in the trilogy, especially in Clear Sky and Call of Pripyat, not so much in Shadow of Chernobyl. And Strelok's version is just straight up a better version of the rifle in Call of Pripyat, so it's pretty nice to use. And in Stalker 2, honestly, I don't really know. The game has a lot of unique weapons. I can say I think the weapon I like to use the most, not unique one, but just normal weapon, was Zuber 19. I really like to just spray my enemies with bullets at close range. That was really satisfying to use. But unique weapon, honestly, I don't know. I haven't tried all of them yet, I think. So I'm gonna pass this one. Alright, let's see what we got. How would you rank the original 3 games by how much you enjoyed them? I personally think Call of Pripyat is the best by gameplay, but Shadow of Chernobyl is the best by story. Okay, my ranking is Shadow of Chernobyl first, then Clear Sky, then Call of Pripyat. But I love them 3 very much. Like, it's close. And Stalker 2, honestly, it's very difficult to rank it compared to the original 3. I think it's just a different category altogether. You can't like really rank the 4 games, including Stalker 2. Okay, will you keep making playthroughs when Stalker DLCs release? It's possible. Who knows? I don't even know yet. I don't know. We will see. But it's possible. Do you think GSC has any plans to bring back the Dark Stalkers in future DLC? I'm personally eyeing down Limansk as a possible candidate for their debut. I mean, I haven't really thought about it. But considering the strange signal that was coming from Limansk, I think maybe, but if I really had to bet on it, I would say that no, they're probably not gonna bring back Dark Stalkers. I don't know what it is, but I feel like, I don't know, I kind of feel like they're not gonna do it. But I could be wrong. What do you think of the original Stalker game, Oblivion Lost, and its remake, OLR? Okay, so I guess you're talking about the days when Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl was still Oblivion Lost, like Stalker Oblivion Lost, or is this talking about like the Oblivion Lost before that was Stalker? I don't really know. Okay, let's assume this is talking about Stalker Oblivion Lost. I think honestly it was a very promising project, but and maybe this is controversial what I'm gonna say, but I think what we ended up getting is actually better. That like I understand why GSC made the changes they made, and yeah, I think in the end we got something that was also very special and that I really like. So I'm not too like mad or sad that Oblivion Lost got changed into Shadow of Chernobyl, but I do enjoy like the remake, the mod Oblivion Lost remake. It's really a nice mod, definitely. Alright, when video Stalker 2 lore and new canon? Well, as I said, please be patient. It's gonna come. Basically, my plan is to ramp up. Like, I'm not gonna start with the crazy conspiracy theories and like huge story analysis. I'm gonna start with some interesting things in the story that people might not expect are that deep, but that are not really like linked to the end. more like towards the beginning of the story. I'm gonna start with that, and then I'm planning to like ramp up and yeah, talk about increasingly like big topics. Eventually, of course, I'm gonna talk about all the 4 endings and stuff like that, but I'm not like diving headfirst into the huge topics like everyone does. There's a kind of continuity in my work. Not all videos are like one hits that are not connected to the rest. This is not true. So yeah, that's basically my plan. We will see how much time it takes. Do you have a favorite song or maybe a top 3? Honestly, I couldn't tell you. Like, I listen to a lot of stuff and different stuff. So it really depends on my mood, and it's something that is not static. It's something that changes over time. Like, there will be times when I'm into some kind of music, and then I'm not gonna listen to it for a few years and completely change, and then come back to it maybe. So yeah, I couldn't really answer that. Honestly, I don't know myself. I can't tell you. Okay, someone in the chat asks if there will be spoilers in this Q&A. Yeah, unfortunately, I think there will be spoilers. Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna try to keep it light, but there might be spoilers, yeah. Okay. Did you have a hard time getting into Stalker as a French speaker? You said you played Call of Pripyat in French, so I wonder if your experience was different in some way. Honestly, not at all a hard time, because all 3 original games are completely voiced in French. And I must say that the French voice acting is actually good, and most of the time better than the English voice acting, especially in Call of Pripyat. Oh, someone is finding out that I'm French. Well, yeah. What a shock. Yeah, I can give a spoiler warning if it's something big, yeah. I'm gonna try, but yeah, I'm discovering the questions just like you. Like, I haven't really read them in details before, so yeah, the original games have very good French voice acting, actually. It's much better than the English one, especially in Call of Pripyat. Like, I can remember some quotes from the French dub more vividly than the English dub, because they're just better. Yeah, especially in Call of Pripyat, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Which game in the franchise did you enjoy playing most, and which faction is your favorite? Well, as I already said, Shadow of Chernobyl is my favorite of the bunch. Oh, I guess not counting Stalker 2. It's too early to class Stalker 2 with the others. And which faction is my favorite? I mean, before Stalker 2, it was Scientists, but now I'm kinda thinking of changing it. I don't know. It gave me a new perspective on the matter. I think Stalker 2 presented us with many different sorts of scientists, like sides to the whole matter. Of course, you have the main ones at Circa, who are kinda, I don't know, corporate evil, I would say. But they have their reasons. Then you have Malachite, but they're also kinda weird. I don't know what they're doing. I don't really vibe with any of them, but the one I do vibe with is Lodoshka. This guy is kinda like the Chad scientist who's like, nah, I'm not gonna work with Circa. Nah, I was at Malachite, but these guys, I don't vibe with them. I'm just gonna quit and do my own thing. Have some something going on with Noontide, help them build something for themselves, do my own research on my own, and actually about a topic that is very interesting and important, which is, in case you didn't see in the game, turning waste into electricity. So yeah, this guy is basically, he's not a faction, but he's my favorite character so far. What was your favorite area of Stalker 2? Oh, I mean, if you mean region, honestly, I don't know. I mean, my favorite location in Stalker always has been the CNPP, but it's not... Okay, spoiler. The CNPP is not accessible in the game. Not yet. Probably it will be added in DLC, but it's not accessible yet. So now that it's gone, I don't know what my favorite area is, to be honest. I think I really enjoyed Wild Island, especially because of what was going on there, but not really like because of how is the location. And also, yeah, I think Red Forest and Burnt Forest, I really enjoyed just the vibe of them. What do you think is the future of Stalker after 2 released? Well, the future is very bright, my friends. We've got new updates and patches on the horizon. GSC is gonna keep building their legacy and updating this game. They also said they're gonna maybe update the OG games on PC in the future. And yeah, Stalker 2, we have the multiplayer update to look forward to. We have at least 2 story expansions, but if, considering the success of the game, and if the expansions are successful, we could even see more than 2. So yeah, the future is very bright. There's a lot of stuff to look forward to. What do you think of all the endings of Stalker 2? Of them, which one is your personal favorite, and what do you hope that GSC expands on with their 2 story expansions? Okay, so obviously big spoilers for answering this question. Actually, no, I'm not gonna explain what happens in the endings, but there will still be... I can't really answer this without a minor spoiler. What I think, well, I can say that when I first finished the game, I was confused, to be honest. And honestly, it felt normal because that was exactly the same feeling I had when I first completed Shadow of Chernobyl back in the day. That's how the game is. It's supposed to make you feel like that, I think. You're confused because you don't really understand everything that is going on, and that's normal because you can only see what happens through the perspective of your character. But when you go back and try different paths and see different sides of the story, everything comes together so beautifully. It starts making sense, and it's the best feeling, piecing together the puzzle. So, which one is my personal favorite? Honestly, I don't know. I guess... I'm not sure. Obviously, it's not the 2 bad endings that you probably know of if you've seen them. So it will have to be either Skiff or Strelok ending. I feel like Skiff ending is supposed to be the correct one because, of course, it's the ending of the protagonist. But at the same time, I don't really like what happens at the end of this ending. I kinda prefer what happens, what is implied for the future of the zone and the world in the Strelok ending. So I'm probably gonna say that Strelok ending is my favorite. Now, what do I hope for the story expansions. Obviously, if you've kept up with the general videos being posted on the topic, you know that there are many things that were cut during developments, especially locations like, spoiler, CMPP, the Iron Forest. Of course, Limansk is heavily teased in the game. Jupiter as well. Like, we have the Jupiter region, but the Jupiter factory itself is not in the game. I mean, it is, but out of bounds. All of these are, like, I'm sure will be in expansions in one way or another. There's also the snow region on the map, which is located in the northeast, that was teased by Scar as well. So yeah, I think we could be looking at more than 2 story expansions. 2 is the minimum. But I think GSC has what it takes, if these are successful, to actually, like, they have the material, like, they can expand in so many different ways. So it's definitely possible we actually get more than 2 expansions down the line. No, Mosey, I don't think you sent me your latest post. I don't remember it. And now one big question I have regarding the expansions is whether or not they're gonna take place, like, right after the main story, or in between, or maybe before a prequel. Like, we don't really know about that. And it's gonna be interesting to see, like, do we still play the same character or somebody completely different? There's so many possibilities here. It's definitely something I would like to talk about with the others in Tommy's podcast. For those who don't know, it's possible that you don't know, I've been participating in a Stalker podcast hosted by It's Tommy Love. Check him out if you don't know who he is. He makes really great videos. And yeah, I think we've had 6 episodes so far, but we didn't do any episode ever since the Stalker 2 came out. I think we really need to do one soon. We have so much to talk about, especially about the expansions, like looking towards the future. I really want to talk to Tommy and the others about this. Anyway, moving on. If you had to choose, what's your favorite faction? Well, as I already said, I really like the scientists, but only if they do things right. You know what I mean? So not like Circa or Malachite. But besides them, I don't know, I guess loners. How are you doing? Okay, that's because in my post I asked people how they were doing, so this guy is getting the question back at me. Well, I'm doing great, as you can see. I mean, you can hear. Yeah, I mean, the release was a huge success. I'm having a great time with the game. I actually managed to, like, I don't know, put the pressure I had on my shoulders to the side. And that's why I'm, like, so casual talking about it and not really stressing out about putting my videos as fast as I can. I don't really care anymore. I'm just gonna go with the flow and post things whenever they're ready. And I feel great about this. So that's how things are going at the moment. Alright, is Stalker 2 good enough to be considered a worthy sequel? In my opinion, yes, absolutely. When you play, you can clearly feel that the developers knew what they were doing and where they came from. They stayed true to the original formula. Of course, the game is not perfect. No game is perfect. And it has a lot of issues. Yes, of course, I know that. I'm not trying to deny that. But it is a worthy sequel, for sure. And The good thing is that it can only get better from here. They are already improving the game. Of course, it's gonna take time, but we have time. I mean, you know, here we have a saying that is kind of like, how can I translate that? Everything comes in due time to who knows to wait, right? That's how I feel about this. Oh no, don't take the I don't really care anymore the wrong way. It's actually a good thing. It's like I don't care about the peer pressure, you know? But it's actually a good thing. So yeah, worthy sequel, definitely. Are you aware that Remy the rat from Ratatouille is also French? Yeah, I know. Oh, by the way, this is Lescaut. Those who know him will remember. Alright. Do you have any idea or assumption how Mikluha and his squad got beyond the brain scorcher and survived for a month in Pripyat? Okay, so this is referring to, yeah, Mikluha and his Freedom Squad getting beyond the brain scorcher in Pripyat before Strelok actually disabled it in Shadow of Chernobyl. In case you didn't know, this is mentioned in the dialogues, and Mikluha eventually became the leader of Freedom in Stalker II. And yes, I do have ideas and assumptions how they did it, and I actually made a video, a campfire story video that kinda gets into how they might have done it. Basically, my idea is that they must have studied the fluctuations in the brain scorcher's psi field. As we know, the psi fields that are generated by such contraptions, like the brain scorcher, but also the brain in X16, for example, these psi fields are not always operating at the same power level. They have like high times where the psi field is very powerful and times where it's lowered in order to cool down the apparatus. So it's possible that since Freedom was holding the territory at the barrier, they could like see when the psi field was getting weaker and stronger and try to predict when would be a good time to push through. I think this is what they did and how they managed to get through. One other thing that we need to highlight to answer this is that it seems the area covered by the brain scorcher is not like, it's not the whole center of the zone that is covered by the brain scorcher. It's just like, I don't know how to say this. It's like a barrier, but once you manage to cross it and you are through, it's like you are in the eye of the storm and there are no psi emissions anymore. At least it seems to be that way. And that's why, for example, Strelok and his group could go to Pripyat or the CNPP without being underneath the brain scorcher. Basically, they used tunnels to get through the barrier, like the psi barrier that is the brain scorcher. But once they are inside the center of the zone, there are no psi emissions there. Yeah, like a donut, basically. But we don't really know if it's like the real shape. And actually, I can tell you I am planning to make a video trying to figure out which regions were actually affected by the brain scorcher. And it's gonna be a hell of a ride. It's gonna be a hell of an investigation. Let me tell you that. This is in the works. Anyway, do you worship our Monolith? No, because the Monolith is an illusion and you shouldn't follow it. I see many people just being brainwashed and telling everyone to just join Monolith. Have you seen the living conditions of these guys? Have you seen the facilities in which they have to live? It's insane. Don't join this faction. Okay, next question. Anomalous, I know this is unrelated, but could you cover the cut content? Hold on, what is this? of the Kogrot Forest and X2 Lab? I have no idea what this is. If this is cut content for Stalker 2, I am not aware, because I kid you not, I never took a peek at the leaks. I don't know anything about them, and for the moment I am fine with that. I don't want to know about them. So I can't really answer that question. I mean, actually I can answer that question. No, I'm not gonna cover that because I don't know anything about it, and as of now I have enough on my plate that I'm not gonna go and take a look at the leaks. Moving on. I have a question for anyone willing to answer. Is Limansk not in Stalker 2, or am I just missing it? Well, small spoiler, Limansk is not in Stalker 2. You can see the city in the horizon, but it's not accessible. However, our assumption is that it's gonna be in one of the expansions. Very most likely. It's been heavily teased. Alright. Do you believe that you are also getting brainwashed, or that you are agent? I guess this is referring to Skiff being an agent or being brainwashed, I guess. I think it's possible, especially when you take the world path. I've seen some theories about this. For the moment, I don't really have enough information to answer this with certainty. So I'm not sure yet. I feel like not really, but also there are things that point out that it could be possible that Skiff is at least being manipulated. So yeah, I need to collect more information to give a proper answer to this question, but I think regardless, it's always probably be an open question with no like confirmed answer. Initial thoughts on the reality of the release of Stalker. What does that mean? The reality of the release? Well, the game is very much real, so I don't know what to tell you. Not the game itself, but the optimization and bugs. Well, of course there were problems, but it's completely playable, and it's the kind of jank you expect from a Stalker game, so you know, you should expect that as much. So I don't know, thoughts on the release? Yeah, it was great. It was a great success. Huge success. Huge success for the release. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't know if you remember, but probably you haven't, because, I mean, if you haven't, it's not good, because it means you haven't watched Spartan Mozi. But Spartan Mozi, who is in the chat, by the way, go check him out. He makes great videos. He made a video with messages from people in the community before the release of Stalker 2, and I had a message in this video. And, well, I don't really remember exactly the words I said, but I think I said, perfection is not required to a masterpiece. This is basically saying, expect the game to not be perfect and have problems, but it's not gonna stop it from being a huge success and be heralded as a masterpiece. Exactly what you like. That was exactly my my vision before going into the game. Like, yeah, the way I was expecting it to be, and I think it turned out to be pretty accurate. Alright, let's move on. Which cut concepts from the OG Stalker Oblivion Lost do you like the most, and which one do you find the most interesting? Oh, there's a lot of interesting stuff in Oblivion Lost, definitely. If I had to choose, I'd say one thing that I really had an interest on was the concept of mutants carrying disease and, some viruses like biological weapons being developed in X laboratories. I think these could give another dimension of threat to the zone that isn't really present in the games right now. And it makes sense. Mutants carrying disease makes a lot of sense. You can see in Stalker 2 that there are a lot of flies flying around fleshes, for example. Surely, like getting too close to this or being bitten by this or eating this even is probably not safe. And also, viruses or biological weapons being developed in X labs like adds some kind of scary element to exploring the place. You can imagine like getting down into the lab and getting infected by some kind of virus and you need to find a cure. That could like add many interesting plot points and another dimension to the zone. Like a stalker can be like a very tough person and like skilled in combat and everything, but this doesn't matter if he catches a disease and now he becomes like really weak. Basically another type of radiation, I guess. So that's one of the things that I found interesting. Are you referring to the Universal Soldier concept? Yeah, and also I don't know if you remember, but there was the parasite, something called the parasite, that attached to the heads of people and turned them into zombies. Probably inspired by the head crab from Half-Life, but I still thought it was interesting. Like probably something that escaped from one of the X labs. Anyway, oh wow, oh, hold on. This guy wrote a huge paragraph. Okay, I'm not gonna read all of that. Actually, I already read it before because I noticed that it was huge, and I should probably focus on the question, which is just the beginning of the paragraph. How do you feel about Ward, Spark, Noontide, Core, and all the new factions making up 90% of the story, meanwhile all the other factions lost their identity? That's the question I need to answer, and basically everything else is just the guy explaining how the other factions lost their identity. Yeah, a pamphlet, yeah. So how do I feel about that? I don't really feel anything bad because I knew this was gonna happen. If you kept attention to the trailers and stuff, it was clear as day that the focus was going to be put on these new factions. The IRG also made that clear. Like, it was obvious in my eyes, so I really expected this. I knew Freedom and Duty, for example, were gonna be on the sidelines. I knew it. I knew it was gonna be the case, so I wasn't surprised or anything. Still a bit disappointed they didn't have more quests. Like, for example, when you go see Voronin or Mikluha, like the faction leaders, I kinda expected a bit more around them, since they're such important characters. But yeah, I expected that much. But I can understand how some people would be frustrated about that. However, I can remind you that in the original games, it was kinda already the case for Duty and Freedom. These factions were never really tied to the main story when you really think about it. Like, you can really picture the stories of Shadow of Chernobyl, Clear Sky and Call of Pripyat still taking place even if Duty and Freedom didn't even exist at all. Of course, they are there and sometimes the player has to, visit them or talk to them, but it could definitely have been something else. And even if these factions didn't really exist, all of these events could have still happened. So they kind of always were on the sidelines, in my opinion. But yeah, basically, I wasn't surprised, but I understand why some people would find this odd. But the good thing is that they can be fleshed out in future updates and expansions. Some beefer, yeah. I mean, I also remember a lot of people talking about how there was no faction wars anymore and how that was disappointing. I understand this, but there is a reason for that. Like, there is a in-game lore reason for that, and that is the D4 treaty that the world imposed on everyone. Duty and freedom, they simply cannot fight anymore. If they do, the world is gonna be pissed off, and that's bad news. So there's a reason why these factions are not having a faction war anymore. But after the events of Stalker II, it's very much possible that things change. I'm not gonna say more than this, but it's possible that things change. Anyway, let's get back to a more simple question. Okay, how is your life going on? Well, I already kind of touched on this. I mean, I'm only gonna talk about the stuff that is going on about Stalker and the videos. The rest you don't need to know. And yeah, it's going great. The Stalker 2 is a huge success. We have a lot of things to look forward to. I'm excited to work on videos, but I'm taking my time this time around and not burning myself. And enjoying the process. So on that particular side, everything's going fine. Thank you for asking. Have you read Roadside Picnic? Yes. Have you seen the original Stalker movie or any other Stalker related book, movies? Your opinion on these? So yeah, I did read Roadside Picnic. I did see the Stalker movie, of course. So what do I think about them? Okay, no, I haven't read any other like Stalker books, like, you know, the fan fictions that have been written by some of the players. I haven't read any of them, except for those written by Uncle Coin, of course, which is in the chat as well right now. So yeah, guys, in case you didn't know, this guy Uncle Coin, he wrote a bunch of Stalker stories that I put into video form in my channel before. And he also ended up writing whole books, whole fan fictions in the Stalker universe, and they were great. So if people are interested about that, I'm sure we can find a way to, like, I don't know, share it to more people. If Coin is okay with that, of course. Okay. Have I read the Metro books? No, but they are sitting in my bookshelf as we speak. I got them very recently, so I'm gonna read them. I need to get into it, but I'm gonna read them. Okay, so opinion on Roadside Picnic and the Stalker movie. Obviously, these are like really huge works of art, like literature and movie making, and they are great, but I still prefer the depiction of the zone that is in the game, if you understand what I mean. So yeah, I enjoyed the book, I enjoyed the movie, but I still prefer the way Stalker does it, like the games do it. Alright. I have a schizo theory that Clear Sky is actually held up in Limansk, thinking about where the survivors could go, basing that Limansk was open only for a brief moment and ended up in control of CS. What do you think? I really do not like how factions look so blonde in the second game. Well, we already talked about factions a little bit. No, I don't think Clear Sky is held up in Limansk. Okay, spoiler. In Stalker 2, we meet one of the surviving members of the faction. You know who it is. If you know, you know. It's a character that everybody was asking about before the game came out, so you know who it is. And he says he was the only guy to come back. Actually, it's interesting that he confirmed he was part of the trip in Clear Sky, because previously we didn't really think that was the case. We think he survived because he was not part of the trip. But no, it turns out, at least if he's telling the truth, he was part of the trip, but he was the first, like the only guy to come back, according to his words. So, based on that, I don't think Clear Sky is gonna be held up in Le Mans. But who knows? At least we may find more information about them there. And it's possible that other members survived. I mean, Call of Pripyat also had some members that had survived, like Novikov. I'm pretty sure Kalancha is still somewhere, and he might be making an appearance in one of the extensions, because there's no way this guy has not been up to something interesting. So it's possible that there might be like stranded individuals from Clear Sky, but a whole faction? I don't think so. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna make a small pause because I need to drink, and water, of course. Ah, good. I'm rehydrated and ready to go. Alright. I have no idea where we are at, if we still have a lot of questions, but I feel like we still have a lot of questions. What do you think the situation outside the zone is like? Has COVID happened in the Stalker timeline? I think the situation outside the zone is more or less the same as in the real world, especially since we now know that artifacts fade away and lose their powers when taken out of the zone. Of course, if artifacts didn't do that, you could like import them out of the zone and use them for wonderful things, and this would eventually change our lives. But Stalker 2 actually made the concept of artifact degradation canon, I guess. So now you can use an artifact outside the zone for a while, but eventually it's gonna degrade and stop working. So they can't change the outside world that much anymore. However, the events of Stalker 2 can very well change that. Like, they can very much affect the entire world. If you know what I'm talking about, well, you know. If not, you will find out eventually. So has COVID happened? It's too hard to tell, but I guess maybe? Who knows? I don't really know. I would have to ask you about your favorite anomalous structures, like the ribs, for example. More specifically, what are your favorite Stalker routes you take through Stalker 2 so far for collecting artifacts? Thank you for so many years of hard work. We're all incredibly grateful for your work. Here's to another year. Yeah, thank you, man. Here's to another 5 years, I can say. Actually, I don't know if I'm gonna live that long. Who knows what's gonna happen, but anyway. Thank you for the kind words. Favorite anomalous structure? Ooh. I don't know. I mean, in the original trilogy, the Symbiont, obviously, that was my favorite one. But in Stalker 2, I haven't really thought about it. There's some pretty anomalous structures, and also arch anomalies. I don't really know. I'm not sure. I have to think about it. But in terms of arch anomalies, my favorite one is the fire wheel. I really like that one. And favorite routes to collect artifacts? I don't really have routes. I just collect artifacts whenever I come across an anomaly. So yeah, I don't really have like special routes that I take to just go on artifact trips. Usually, yeah, I just take them when my quests lead me to the place. At least so far, because I'm still researching like the lore and the main quests of the game. But maybe when I get to just enjoy the side content more, maybe I will come up with routes. But so far, I don't really have some. What is your tier list of preferred Stalker games, mods, weapons, mutants, regions, factions? Oh, all of that? Okay, so are you guys ready for 3 hours of more stream? I'm kidding, I'm not gonna start making a tier list right now, but oh, that's such a huge question. I don't know where to start. Okay, Stalker games, well, I already told you. For the originals, it's Shadow of Chernobyl on top, then Clear Sky, Call of Pripyat. Mods. Ooh, this is a sensitive topic. I've played a lot of mods, but honestly, I couldn't tell you like a tier list of them because all the mods, I enjoyed them in one way or another. Like they all add something different to the experience, and that's why I really enjoy the fact that we have so many different mods. In my eyes, there's no like there is not one single how to say this, like master mod or like one single king mod. All the mods have something to offer, at least all the ones I played, and they can all be enjoyed in their own ways. So yeah, I don't really like the concept of like rating them. I guess you can put them into like tiers, but not really like a complete list of which one is better than the other. So I'm not gonna get into that. And actually, it's been a long time since I played any mod. And I don't really need them for Stalker 2 so far. Weapons, it's really depending on the game we are talking about. So I guess I can just tell you my favorite weapon for each game. Shadow of Chernobyl, it's gonna be the Vintar BC. That's my favorite weapon. Clear Sky, probably. What's my favorite gun in Clear Sky? I think it's the SA Avalanche. Call of Pripyat, Strelok's SGI 5K. And Stalker 2, so far, the Zuber 19. Mutants, my favorite mutant is the Pseudo Giant. Regions, so I guess in Stalker 2. Well, I already said Wild Island, Burnt Forest, Red Forest are my favorites. Factions, well, yeah, same, I already told you. Scientists, Loners are my favorites. Let's move on. Oh, what a weird one. Do you collect Hot Wheels? No. Is there anything more to this that I'm missing, or what's the connection with Stalker? I don't know. Tell me if I'm missing something. Have you ever drunk vodka? It's not very good, but feels okay sometimes, not always. No, I haven't drunk vodka ever. I actually don't drink any alcohol at all. And water is my favorite drink. Yeah, that's how original I am. Do you think over-explaining the zone has made the world feel less intriguing and stripped away its mystery? I feel like the entire noosphere concept from the earlier games and now Circa in the new game has made it lose its edge. In a way, yes, it's true that a lot of things that were very mysterious in the previous games are now are now like a more common knowledge in Stalker 2. Like you can see everyone knows who Strelok is and what he's done. People like experienced stalkers know about things like the noosphere and the X experiments and stuff like this. So in a way, yes, it kind of stripped the zone of a certain mystery. That is true, I kind of felt that way. But at the same time, it makes sense why this happens in a game. Like, it would be weird if all the mystery would still be the same so long after the previous games, right? And I feel like Stalker 2 also introduced new mysteries. So I agree, it feels a bit different from the originals, but it's not necessarily bad. I think it's just, yeah, different. But I expected as much as well, considering how much time has passed, both in the world of the games and also in real life. So yeah, it's kind of a different feeling, but not necessarily a bad thing. And yeah, I can already see all the crazy theories that are gonna pop up in Stalker 2, so there's still a lot of mystery there to be explored for sure. Yeah, the chat is moving very fast. Indeed, like I can't really keep up, like answering the questions and looking at the chat at the same time. Sorry, guys, if I missed some questions. But yeah, after I'm done with all of these questions that were on the post, we can really chat. Take a moment to chat. Do you think after World War III life will be similar to Stalker? No, probably not. No. The reason is that life in the zone is really dependent on the fact that there is trade with the outside world. The mainland brings weapons, supplies, ammo and food into the zone, and the zone brings artifacts, information, and concepts, scientific concepts from the Project X out of the zone. So this is a dynamic that would not exist if the world was in a post-apocalyptic state, because Stalker is not post-apocalyptic, it's post-disaster. And this is something that a lot of people kind of miss and glance over, but the dynamic of trade, of things entering and exiting the zone is extremely important. That's why actually stalkers, they don't starve, they are never out of ammo. I mean, you can run out of ammo, but traders always have plenty of stock. So the zone is really not a closed space. There's plenty of exchange with the outside world. And yeah, this is something really important that a lot of people miss. What do you think about the atmosphere of Stalker? For example, I like how, just like the movie, it has an ever-present sensation of being watched, that something else is out there, something incomprehensible, and part of the allure of the game is what's left unexplained to the imagination. And if you'll allow it, a second question, what's your favorite or most intense memory of playing the games? What do I like about the atmosphere? Honestly, I don't really know. It's really hard to explain this feeling that you get when you play Stalker and why the zone always draws you back in. A lot of people have actually made video essays about that, and I don't really want to get into it because it's not my expertise. So I can't really explain it. It's just a feeling that, yeah, the zone is calling, right? In the moment, you can feel like dread and uneasiness, But when you put the game away, eventually it's gonna call you back. You're gonna wanna boot it up again. But I can't really explain it with words. Now, most intense memory. I've had so many memories over all these years. It's really difficult to pick one. I don't really know. Definitely the most intense moment in general for me playing Stalker is when you get to the power plant in Shadow of Chernobyl and the military raids the place and the emission starts and you have to get to the sarcophagus. For me, this is the peak of the storyline in Shadow of Chernobyl. This is why I like this getting to the CNPP so much. It's one of my favorite moments. So it's not necessarily a big memory, but every time I get there, I feel something like really cool happening. It's really a peak moment. Definitely. How are you so sexy? I mean, come on, how are you supposed to know? This is not public information. Let's move on. How do you feel about previously accessible areas from other games not being part of the new reworked zone in Stalker II? Personally, I was a little disappointed that, spoiler, the CNPP was an unplayable area and the side from the roof was pretty much missing anything textures or really resembling finished. No underground, no interior, mostly placeholder stuff. There's actually a lot of the game map outside the playable area that I'd say 70% finished and very interesting, but sadly completely unused, and don't get me started on Limansk. Well, yeah, as I was saying, for example, you can see the Jupiter factory, which looks very much, not finished, but in a very advanced state. For example, Limansk is kinda there, but not really. So how do I feel about that? Of course, it's a little bit disappointing, especially about the CNPPs. It's since it's my favorite location. But I have hope. I know that eventually these things will be added to the game. I just know it in my bones, you know. It's I'm sure the developers will find a way to put them back. So honestly, there's so much to do in the game already that I'm not really mad, because we have a lot of things to do in the meantime, so that eventually these areas get added later. But I'm not just gonna wait. I have a lot of stuff to keep me occupied for when the time comes, and it's good stuff, so it's fine. TLDR is that it's fine. Where do you submit questions? So basically I prepared some of the questions I received on a post I did a few days ago, where I asked questions, but you can also send questions to the chat. It's just that I'm not 100% focused on it right now. But yeah, you can send questions to the chat and I will try to answer them as well. Next question. What drink do you like? Well, water, of course. In fact, I'm gonna drink right now. It's good water, you know. Will there be an addition to the mutant lore video, including changes to old mutants and new mutants from Stalker 2? Maybe. Possibly. It's not really something that is in the priority list, because there's so much new stuff that I feel like is more important to talk about first. But maybe down the line, it's possible. It's possible. Okay, I see a lot of questions in the chat, so I'm gonna try to answer them as well. Opinion on the change of currency from ruble to coupon. Do you think it's politically charged? I think probably, yeah, it's probably. Definitely has something to do with what is happening in Ukraine right now. But honestly, it's fine. I mean, I don't really care that much. Money is money. It's just something that is, tied to the game, and it doesn't really matter how you call it. So I have no problem with that. Favorite X-Lab and character in the Stalker games? Favorite X-Lab? X18, I guess. I mean, yeah, probably X18. Character, previously it was Sakharov, but in Stalker 2 it's gonna be Lodoshka for the moment. Link to the Discord. I can send it, but I like the way things are in the Discord. I mean, kind of stable, not a lot of people barging in every day. So that's why I don't share the link around. In case you are wondering, I'm not really promoting it anywhere. But I guess I can send one if you really need it. Hold on, let me get an invitation up and running. Just give me a minute. I actually don't remember how you do this. How do you do this? Invite people. Send an invite link. Copy. All right, there we go. Okay. Opinion on Scar's personality change. It's related to the story. Get to the end of the game and you will understand. Real question for the big guy. What do you think about Scar personality change? I already answered this. But Kairos, I know you sent me a big theory. And I kind of read it fast. I'm gonna try to answer it this weekend. I'm gonna answer to you. What would be the point of exploring the CNPP in Stalker 2? Richter refers to it as a planted pyramid. The monolith is gone and the underground lab is accessible in the end anyway. Well, I don't know. I mean, the point would be whatever GSC makes of it, I'm sure they could have figured out a reason for us to get there and interesting stuff to get here. And besides, just exploring the place and comparing it to its real life counterpart would have been very interesting in its own right. Favorite cutscene from Stalker 2? It's too difficult for me to choose. I don't know. I mean, I don't even have seen all the cutscenes yet. So I don't know. I'll get back to you, Mozzie, when I have picked a favorite one. But for now, I can't really tell. Anything like campfire stories for Stalker 2? Well, actually, maybe. It's possible. I have an idea about something. I've been actually thinking of getting the campfire series back, campfire stories series back with a new touch, but it's still not really, I haven't still figured out everything yet, so I don't know. It's possible. Okay, I guess I should go back to the questions I planned. Opinion on the milsim side of Stalker. I don't really know what this means, to be honest. Define milsim and maybe I can answer, but yeah, I'm not even sure what this word really means exactly, so I don't really know how to answer this, to be honest. I feel like Stalker is very far from being something that simulates reality. It's a video game and it has very arcadey stuff in it, especially like in the controls and how the character behaves. Yeah, that's all I can say for now. What do we have? Opinion on Meshany. He's a great guy. I was on his stream yesterday, actually. I was on the chat yesterday. So yeah, guys, if you don't know Meshany, also check out his channel. He makes some great Stalker videos as well. Do you think that Skiff is OP? I mean, like every protagonist, he has some particular skills that are a little bit overpowered, yeah, I guess. Like he instantly knows how to use any kind of weapons. It feels like he does feel pain, but he can just push through it. He can, I don't know, eat as much as he wants or drink as much as he wants, etc., etc. But it's all tied to video game stuff, so not really a problem. All right. I love VSS. Well, so do I. So do I. Will you ever start a YouTube channel? Really? Okay, how to tell you, man? How to tell you this? It's been running for 5 years. So, get a grip. Hi, what other games do you play? Do you like racing, Souls game, maybe simulators? I mean, for a few years now, I've basically been only playing Stalker, like mostly like 90% Stalker. But before I was playing a lot of other first-person shooters as well. So, you know, things like Half-Life, Metro, of course, some, Doom, things like this. All of these kinds of games. Hold on, what? Let's move on. Hey, Anomalous Dugout, I may know that you are French, so why English voice in your video? Is it for gather a large audience or something else? Yeah, exactly. I mean, making videos in English is a no-brainer for me. It's obvious you're gonna gather so much more people, and I feel like, this Stalker community is just something like that is active all over the world. I would feel bad to just keep my videos closed to a certain audience of just French-speaking people. So obviously that's why English is a thing. And yeah. Did you read or watch the movie? Yes, I already answered that one. I read Roadside Picnic. I watched the movie, the Stalker movie. And they are great. They are great. What do you want to see next updates of Stalker II, Heart of Chernobyl? What do I want to see? Honestly, nothing in particular. I want to be surprised by what the developers have to show to us. We already have like strong speculation on what the expansions might contain, at least in terms of locations. But I want to be surprised by the new characters, the new quests, maybe new mutants, weapons, everything. So I don't really I don't have like big wishes. I just want the things to be good, and I know it will be. So right now I'm just focusing on what we have in the game. There's plenty enough for me to go on for many months, and eventually the expansions will come. What do you expecting from next gen updates of Stalker Legends of the Zone? So yeah, apparently GSC is gonna update Legends of the Zone, so the old trilogy, like the 3 original Stalker games. I have no idea what they're gonna do to them. I expect, I guess, just bug fixes, but I doubt they'll be adding new stuff. But who knows? Everything is possible. I still the same guy asking questions. Okay, Strelok did absolutely nothing when Kelsey conscious. Oh, spoilers! Because of Korshunov's words to Dmitry Dalin in Foundation, I think. Foundation. That he had seen them boil in their pods while Kamenov shot them. Oh, I don't really remember this. So is the true ending of Shadow of Chernobyl doesn't make sense? Oh, these phrases that you make don't really make sense, man. No, I mean, I understand what you mean. Yeah, I mean, the ending of Shadow of Chernobyl definitely is still canon for sure. But I don't remember this specific dialogue from Korshunov. So on my side, more investigation is required to answer this question. Yeah, I will have to get back to this and figure something out. But right now I can't really answer. I don't really remember the exact details of this. Still the same guy. How do you feel after the ending of Stalker 2? What thoughts did come up about the game's plot? Well, I already talked a bit about it earlier. When you finish the game for the first time, you're supposed to feel confused. At least that's how I felt. Oh, I saw it, but I don't remember, Mosey. I don't really remember it. I'm gonna have to get back to it. But yeah, when you complete the ending for the first time, you don't have all the pieces of the puzzle. So it's always gonna feel a bit strange. But that's the beauty of it. You have to go back and try different paths to piece together everything. And about the game's plot, I really like that the plot has so many different branches. And at first you don't really see this because of course you're just gonna choose one path for yourself. But it is when I actually got back and tried all the different possibilities that I realized how much work was put into it and how many more possibilities there was that I didn't expect. Like there are some cutscenes that I just expected to have like 2 or 3 different outcomes, but there's like 8 of them. It's actually crazy. So overall, the main plot is well structured and like well made, I think. But there are some like more secondary stuff or details that I still don't really understand. And I don't know if it's because I still don't have all the elements, or if it's just, I don't know, bad writing or some things that are weird. There are some retcons, obviously, which are always not really good, I guess, but we should have expected some retcons to take place, so it's fine, I guess. If you ever get a chance to get an exoskeleton in your current Stalker 2 run, will you use it? Well, in my playthrough I did use the exoskeleton, so yeah. But only when I can upgrade it to run, because there's no way I'm gonna go through the zone just walking. What are you hoping to see for potential DLC? Well, I already said it's... we expect to see the locations that we didn't get in the game, of course. and I just hope to be pleasantly surprised by GSC. That's all I'm hoping for. I don't need to be more specific than this. If you are put in charge to create a true good ending, how would that play out? I don't think answering this question is necessary, since this situation is never going to take place. So I don't even want to think about it. I hope you understand what I mean, but yeah, this is not gonna happen, so I don't want to start thinking about it. Sorry. The devs said that they would update the original Stalker game sometimes in 2025. Do you think they will add bug fixes or maybe quality of life features? Yeah, I think probably just bug fixes. Like, there are some notorious bugs that actually are kind of game breaking. Like, for example, in Clear Sky, you cannot get all the USB sticks for upgrades. I can see this being something that is fixed. But I don't really expect anything more than this. I don't think they will add actual content. What do you think of Stalker 2? Well, it's great. And do the lore is good and respected? It's good. There are some retcons, obviously. But overall, I'd say it's pretty respected. There are, of course, details that, yeah, they changed. The most visible changes are, of course, like the locations being changed around. But overall, we can find some explanations for that. And I'm actually planning to make a video on this topic. But yeah, overall, I'd say, despite some of the retcons, it's respected enough, I'd say. Ooh, Can't Game Right is here. I mean, in the question. I'd like to see him in the chat, but due to the time difference, I don't think he can be there. So check him out as well. He's making great videos too. What do you think of Stalker faction waifus? What the hell? Marked one? What the hell? Let's move on. What do you like and what do you dislike about Stalker 2? Whoa. Do you want to add 2 hours to the stream? There's a lot I like. There's also quite a lot I guess I dislike, but not enough to drag the game down too much. So there could be a very long list, I guess, in both directions. But overall, yeah, I just really like the game in general, like visuals, the story, the gameplay, the lore, everything. And what I dislike comes more into the details, you know. Like some balancing issues. Of course, there are some bugs here and there, small retcons, things that were cut, that were promised, but that were cut. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna answer for the time being. Yeah, 7 out of 10 Toad impression. I mean, it was completely out of the blue, so you know, I do what I can. What is your go-to weapon combo in the Stalker games, be it the original trilogy or Heart of Chernobyl? Yeah, my favorite combo is to have one shotgun for mutants and close quarters, and a rifle with more range, like an assault rifle with a scope or a sniper rifle. That's my favorite combo, but sometimes I do deviate from it a little bit. But overall, that's like my comfort combo of 2 weapons. And yeah, that's valid in all 3 games, definitely. All 4 games, sorry. Yeah, AK and shotgun, basically. All my questions have been asked, so just here for the algorithm. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And happy holidays. Well, yeah, that was before. That was a little bit before the holidays, I guess. That already passed now, but yeah, thank you very much for the comment. I felt like the world was empty before the updates, but immersive on veteran mode made me head to horde like crazy. Now it's a broken mess. How will they end up fixing this to work out? What? I don't really understand this. I mean, of course, A-Life is not where it should be right now, but I wouldn't say it's a completely broken mess. There's still times when it shines. So, and they're working to fix it, so just give it time and it's gonna be better. But I wouldn't call it completely broken and like that. It was, I guess, in the very first version of the game, but now it's already better and they're still gonna improve it. Hold on, we have some interesting questions in the chat, I think. Stuff like Sidorovich being used to prevent game crashes. I don't know about that. Maybe, I guess. Maybe ask Spartan Mozi, since he was able to witness a flock of Sidoroviches in the dev. I don't know, in something like the dev console or something. Yeah, a very rare sight, a flock of Sidoroviches leaving the bunker. Armed to the teeth, of course. Okay, so a question with a big spoiler about the video of psi emissions and Kamenov emitters. Yeah, I guess, I mean, Doctor, spoiler, Kamenov. He was responsible for some of the research in the zone and created some of the psi emitters. But responsible for the creation of Monolith? No, I don't think so. Maybe indirectly, but probably the Monolith was created after, much after he left Project X. Probably, but who knows? Maybe the analysis on Project Y might come up with a different answer. Will the stream stay, or are you gonna delete it? I think I'm gonna leave it, because some people probably will want to see the answer to their question, but maybe they couldn't be here on the stream. So I think I'm gonna leave it, yeah. Just gonna have to figure out how to do it, since it's my first time doing it, but I think I can manage. Alright, what do you think would best fit story-wise for a Stalker film adaptation? Ooh, that's a difficult question. Believe it or not, I actually had thought of the beginning of a scenario for a Stalker series. Just a fun side project, I guess, but it was just a very early draft. I think for a film adaptation, the best way to go about it would be to do something that is faithful to the games, but still not connected to the story of the games. You know what I mean? Like a film with maybe a plot with stalkers that are not characters in the games, but still not contradict what happens in the game, right? Because if they start using characters from the games, or I don't know, even worse, like, I don't know, redo the story of Shadow of Chernobyl but in a film, there's no way this is gonna work, right? So I think the best approach would be to just do a different story, but still in the same universe that doesn't clash, or maybe have even some references to what happens in the games, but, you know, a little bit separate. I think that would be the best way to make it. Alright, a Stalker live action film was released fairly recently. Have you seen it? What do you think of it? Oh, it's Stalker Shadow of the Zone. Yeah, of course. So no, I have not seen it. And I don't really intend to watch it because, I don't know, it just doesn't really interest me. It doesn't really appeal to me. I don't know. I don't really feel compelled to just click on it, I should say. So it continues on. Overall, I thought it was good and enjoyed it quite a bit. The film was my first introduction into the Stalker universe. Oh, interesting way to approach it. And it led me to your lore videos. Okay. It was your lore videos that convinced me to play Stalker 2, and I'm loving it, so thank you. Oh, that's really nice to hear. I'm glad that I managed to convince somebody to play. But yeah, I don't really wanna watch this movie. I've heard about it from people, and I value their input. And yeah, what they told me about it didn't really give me didn't make me want to watch it. So I don't know. I'm not really into the mood to watch it, I guess. How do you feel about Strider Fate in Stalker 2? Someone says in the chat. Okay, I guess spoiler, but really sad. I'm really sad we couldn't do more for him, because that was one of the characters I was vibing with the most. So yeah, I'm really sad about what happened to him. I'm not gonna elaborate more for the moment. Which faction do you think is the most pointless? I'm kinda tempted to say the Renegades, but I know some people will be furious about this. And actually, it's not even true, because the Renegades do serve their purpose. They were created as a different faction from the Bandits, especially for a reason. So they actually have a point. That being said, which one is the most pointless then? Let me think. I mean, I guess it depends if you wanna think about it from the point of view of the ideology of the faction, or if it makes sense to have this faction in the game or not from a gameplay perspective. You know what I mean? In my opinion, all factions have a reason being here in terms of gameplay. But in terms of ideologies, I guess, bandits, I would say, are the most pointless, because they don't have any further goals than just robbing and making bank. IPSF? Actually, why not? Yeah. IPSF are kinda boring, yeah, I agree. It's a good answer, actually. Yeah. Actually, IPSF is probably the most undercooked faction, and since there is the Ward, IPSF is the new military. It's an International Perimeter Security Force in Stalker 2. Basically, they just guard the border of the zone, and that's it. But they actually... It's kind of weird, because they're supposed to just be guarding the border of the zone, but sometimes you can meet some of their squads like very far deep into the zone for some reason, but you don't really understand what they are doing there. But yeah, now that there is the Ward, we could really well imagine the perimeter also being guarded by the Ward, and IPSF not being there. So yeah, I guess it's a pretty good answer. Anyway, let's move on. 2 questions. Have you played any of the Metro games? And if so, what did you think about them? Which Stalker faction would you join in real life? Love your vids. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, don't start Coin on the Renegades. Coin is gonna... I'm gonna tell you something. Coin wrote whole books about the Renegades, so don't get him started on the topic. Anyway, to answer the question, I played Metro 2033 and Last Light. I didn't play Exodus yet, and now that I have Stalker 2, there's no way I'm gonna play it in a long time. And yeah, I enjoyed them very much. Of course, they're very good games. And which faction I would join in real life? Oh, in real life, I would roll the hell away from the zone. No way I'm going there. I would never survive in the real zone. So yeah, I'm not joining any faction. I'm gonna stay a civilian, you know. But I guess if I really had to, I'd probably stay a loner, to be honest. I feel like this is the easiest way, at least at first. Alright, do you agree with Strelok's ideologies about the zone? If not, what are yours, just in general, and what's your favorite gun in the Stalker franchise? I guess this is gonna lead to some spoilers about what Strelok thinks of the zone in Stalker 2. About my favorite gun, I already answered the question in the previous previous answers, so you can get back to that if you want. Okay, so Strelok's ideologies about the zone. The case of Strelok is, in my opinion, very interesting because he actually changed his views over time. We don't really know what his views of the zone were at the very beginning, but we can see that he's very passionate about finding the secrets of the zone. So it's possible he just wanted to figure out what it was before actually making his mind on what to do with it or what to think about it. And after he found out, at least found some answers at the end of Shadow of Chernobyl, when we meet him in Call of Pripyat, he says his intention is to destroy the zone. That's what he wants to do. But many years later in Stalker 2, and that's where the spoilers come in, he has changed his mind. He now wants to, as the chat says, protect her always. And a lot of people were taken aback from this. They thought it didn't make sense. Why would he want to destroy the zone and then change his mind and actually want to protect it? Well, if you look a bit deeper, it actually makes a lot of sense. In Stalker 2, I mean, in the time between Call of Pripyat and Stalker 2, Strelok figured out something that he didn't before. He figured out that there are two sides. I mean, not really two sides to the zone, but there are two things. There is the zone in itself, like, you know, the leak in the noosphere and the anomalies and stuff. And then there is the remnants of Project X, the X labs and everything that came with it. The mutants, the psi emitters, the zombies, the brainwashing, the monolith, all of this. And this is what Strelok hates. This is what he wanted to destroy. But he figured out that even though like these two things, the zone and remnants from Project X, are deeply connected, maybe there could be a way to like separate them, eliminate the remnants from Project X and let the zone live without like this dark influence from Project X. And that's what I think. I mean, that's at least how I understand his ideology in Stalker 2. Now, do I agree with it? In a way, yes, a little bit, because of course everything that came from Project X is like, it always ended up in something bad, right? The mutants, all the experiments, turning people into zombies, manipulations, brainwashing, all of this stuff is pretty bad. It makes sense to try to remove this. But the zone in itself, there's this ideology that maybe without all of this violence, the zone would be good on its own. And that's why Strelok in Stalker 2, he wants to protect the zone. He just wants to leave it be, so no interference. People who are already in the zone stay. They can't leave. People from the outside cannot enter. And he wants to see what happens. And honestly, I kind of want to see what happens too in this case. What would happen? It's interesting to think about. So from that perspective, I do kind of agree with him. But I think there's a little bit more to it, and I still need to go back and study his character and his ideology a little bit more. Sorry. But yeah, I would say for the most part, I kind of understand why he acts like this, why he changed his mind, and what he wants to achieve. But would I have the same ideology if the zone existed in real life? Honestly, I can't tell. I don't really know. I haven't really thought about it that much. Anyway, that was a long answer, so let's move on. And I see the discussions are going really fire in the chat. Anyway, who is your favorite protagonist of the series? And this one is very difficult to answer, of course. I feel like the most polished protagonist is Strelok, because we can see this evolution we just talked about right before. So I guess it's gonna be my default answer, but it's really hard because every protagonist has something of their own, and they're all cool in their own rights. And yeah, Skiff also has a lot of character development. For the moment, I'm gonna say still Strelok, but they are all awesome in their own right. He's overrated? Maybe. But I love all of them. Most handsome? I'm not qualified to answer that. Anyway, will you do more storytelling videos in future like Uncle Coin stories? Coin, you are mentioned again. So yeah, fun fact, the videos Uncle Coin stories, Uncle Coin, who is there in the chat, wrote the stories and I put them into video form. It's possible I will do more storytelling videos. Maybe. I don't want to say a hard no, but not a hard yes either, so maybe. It's possible. I have some ideas, but they just need to come to fruition. So, yeah. Expect it, but don't expect it, as GSC would say. What faction you join if not already question? Yeah, so already question, so next question. The Monolith. Okay. Do you consider Stalker a horror series? Is Stalker frightening you an essential... Oh my god. English is difficult, guys. I've been talking a lot, so... Is Stalker frightening you an essential part of the game to you? What would you say is the main theme and symbolism of each game? Example, Sock being about finding purpose, Cop being about joining people together and healing past wounds. Okay, I would not consider Stalker a horror series, and frightening the player is not really an essential part of the game, I'd say, except in a few specific locations. But I'd say the series does have elements of horror, right? I mean, spooky and frightening are two different things in my opinion. I'm not saying it's not frightening or spooky, but I don't consider it a horror series. But it does contain elements of horror. Main theme and symbolism of each game. This is very hard to answer. It's something you have to think about. Honestly, I don't want to answer that. Not really. Like, it's not that I don't want to answer, but I'd rather not answer it without preparation, because I don't feel like I have what it takes right now. Like, I haven't thought about it enough to give an answer that will be satisfactory. So let's move on. What arch anomaly was your favorite? Fire Wheel was my favorite, but and second would be the Poppy Field. Okay, Coin has a question. If I need Soviet tech mic quality voice actor, I know who to speak. Actually, Coin, you know, it might actually happen. Maybe, we will see. You know, I'm actually gonna disclose a secret here. I've been thinking for a long time about making a project to involve like the community, the people from my subscribers and things like this, to just act in some project, do some voice acting. But so far I couldn't come up with something that would actually come out to the light of day. But maybe one day it will get through. Who knows? There's actually a lot of ideas that I still have in the back of my mind. Entire video series scrapped. There's a lot of Anomalous Dugout cut content out there. I mean, it's not out there, but you know, in my drive. But yeah, it's tradition. Everything Stalker related needs some cut content, you know. Anyway, I can't wait to see the good old Stalker lore videos. Well, you're gonna have to wait a little bit more. I'm really sorry about this. It will come, but I am trying to make it as good as possible, both for you and for me, which means I'm taking my time and gathering a lot of information first. So it will come. Please be patient. How long would you last in the zone if it were real? Not a day, probably. And what do you think artifacts taste like? What the hell? Why would you even want to taste an artifact? I guess it really depends on the kind of artifact, but I don't even want to think about it. It's not meant to be ate. Come on. Are you crazy? Moving on. Isn't it annoying when you see that some of your favorite old but gold YouTubers or their videos disappear and never to be seen again? I had plenty of moments when I want to search for a nostalgic video only to see it's vanished and it's too late for a backup. Yeah, that does happen sometimes. You know, fun fact, I actually thought about doing something like this, and there are some videos that I made in the past that are not available anymore. But for good reasons, mostly because they were outdated. But yeah, I'm not going anywhere for the time being, so don't worry about that. Do you think Sidorovich is the best character in the entire series? No, I don't think so. I mean, it would be difficult to find the best character, especially since most characters only appear in just one game or two, but not like all four. Even Sidorovich is not present in Call of Pripyat. And the only characters that are present in all four games are, of course, well, spoilers, Nimble and Strelok. It's the only two. Most iconic? Yeah, I guess Sidorovich could be considered most iconic. With a Strelok, of course. But yeah, Sidorovich is very iconic indeed. If Scar never helped Clear Sky fight off the renegades in Stalker Clear Sky, in your opinion, how could Clear Sky won against the renegades without Scar? I think it's possible that Clear Sky would have won eventually. They just needed to stall. Because you see that after a while in the game, Clear Sky somehow gets much better equipment and many more troops, and you don't really know where they're coming from. So it's very much possible that they would have been able to get these reinforcements even if Scar didn't show up, but it would have taken some time. And if we consider this to be true, they just would have to hold on the renegades from taking their base until the reinforcements arrive. So I'm not sure. It's a lot of assumptions. I think they could have avoided at least being completely destroyed. But being able to free the entire swamp without Scar, maybe not. Who knows? It's a difficult question because we don't really know exactly all the secrets of this Clear Sky faction. I think Scar really helped to speed up the process. And maybe Clear Sky could have managed to do it, but with much more time. But time was something that they were lacking because they were going after Strelok, right? So that's what I think, but who knows? Yeah, so people are saying if the Doctor is in all four games, he appears in Shadow of Chernobyl. Spoiler, he also appears in Heart of Chernobyl, but in Clear Sky and Call of Pripyat he is only mentioned. So does that count as an appearance? You decide. What do I think happened to Forrester? Actually, I have a story about this. I mean, a fan-made story, but now is not the time to narrate it. It's still cooking, you know. But it's definitely possible he just passed away of old age. Who knows? Alright, compared to older Stalker games, how good is Stalker 2? Is it better or worse? Better or worse? I'd say, okay, so the game is definitely good. I'd say it's better in some aspects and worse in other aspects. But overall, it's really difficult to say. I'd say it's on the same level, provided that you take into account the time it was released in. You know what I mean? Like Stalker, the original Stalkers were huge achievements for when they came out, and so is Stalker 2. But of course, it's technically more advanced due to just all the new technology that we have. It's better in some aspects, worse in others. But it does have the potential to become even better since it's gonna get updated. So we're gonna have to see, and time will tell how it becomes. Okay, question from the chat. Have you watched the entirety of Meshini's Iceberg video? Yes, I have. What's my favorite entry that I never heard of before? Honestly, I can't remember because it's been a long time since I watched it. So I'm gonna have to rewatch it again, I guess. But yeah, I can't really remember everything. So right now I can't really answer that. What is your favorite ice cream? I don't know. I guess chocolate, you know, classic. Come on, what is up with these questions, guys? My relationship with Sidorovich is purely business oriented, right? That's all I can tell you. Okay, spoiler. Scar is alive, making all our old theories gone, but we need to talk about how crazy he became from the last mission he was in. Also that he wants to pretty much do a Monolith ending, or the fact which he is in my eyes an agent of C consciousness. Well, yeah, that's why actually he's crazy. His personality changed, yes, but there is a reason. And this reason is linked to his brainwashing. So, big spoilers here. When Scar was brainwashed, they put the memories of a different Stalker into his brain. And that's why he has a different personality. I could go into more details, but I don't want to spoil too much, so I'm just gonna say that. But we could, yeah, there's definitely more that could be said. I'm keeping it for another time, though. I'm drunk. Well, good for you, I guess, but I suggest you lay off the booze. Okay, do you understand why the IPSF and the WAD are fighting in the zone with A-Life system? Does the WAD don't have official authorization to stay in the zone? Ooh, honestly, I never saw these two factions meet in the open when I played, so I didn't know they were actually attacking each other. But if they do, it's really strange. Yeah, the WAD should be officially authorized to go in the zones, so it doesn't make sense. Maybe it's broken like many other other things in this game. It's possible. Anyway. What's the most dangerous mutant you think you could take in a real fight? Oh boy. Well, it depends what gear I'm given. Like, do I have a gun or protective armor, or what kind of gun can I have? Or is it just my bare fists? That changes everything, right? Okay, assuming I have, I don't know, maybe an AK. I'd say I could take maybe a dog. I don't know. Yeah, that's how good of a fighter I am. Okay, what artifacts do you like to eat the most? What the hell? Again? What's up with people wanting to eat artifacts? Are you guys crazy? That makes no sense. And no, they don't look yummy. They don't. I don't know what you're on about. Probably scorched brains. Get some C-block. Okay? Anyway. I could for real take on a pseudo giant. Yeah, I'd like to see you try that. Do you think some Monolithians survived the signal like Spirit? Okay, spoilers. I feel really bad for them since replaying their main mission. And do you think Dr. Kamenov is still alive? No way Faust killed someone so important off screen. Okay. So, big spoilers, of course. Spirit somehow was a Monolithian before. It's really weird because I'm not sure how he could have joined the original Iskra while being a Monolithian. Feels like some sort of retcon here. In case you don't know, Spirit was part of the original team under Topol in Call of Pripyat, doing errands for the scientists. And yeah, in Stalker 2, he survived the signal that turned all the Noontiders into Monolithians, because he was shielded from these emissions into the original Iskra bunker. So it's definitely possible that other Stalkers would have been shielded from these emissions and also didn't turn back to Monolithians. So yeah, I think it's possible that he's not the only one. But who knows? About Dr. Kamenov and Faust, I don't want to talk about it yet, because this is a huge plot point that I want to get back to down the line when I've accumulated enough information. For me, this is still something that I have to dig information about. So I don't want to get into it without enough information to back up my claims, so I'm leaving this for later. I think Topol is considered dead. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Scars said that he's dead, unfortunately. All of them died except Spirit. Did you ever meet Mbappe? No, I didn't meet him. Guys, hold on. I want to check how many more questions we have. Where are we? Hold on, this one is 20, 32, 11. Okay, I think we are close to the end. Okay, we did most of them, but there's still some of them. I hope you are enjoying the stream, by the way. I know it's not the most fun thing to just read questions and answer them. I'm trying to interact, but it's just my first stream, and I really wanted to answer all the questions I got. I know I've not been answering comments as much lately, because I just received too many, and I don't really bother about it as much as before. Hey there, is a side quest for the world captain at the entrance of the chemical plant to get an artifact. Did you do it? Yes, I did do this quest, and actually there are different possibilities to end this quest that are interesting. Important for artifact creation theories. Yes, I mean, in Shadow of Chernobyl, it was straight up said that some artifacts were created from organic matter. So it is implied that stalkers, when they die into anomalies, their corpses could be used by anomalies to create new artifacts. It's always been implied. But yeah, it's interesting to see scientists actually taking an interest into this topic and trying to figure out if it is true. Yeah, interesting for sure. Okay, not so much a question, but if and when you do Stalker 2 lore videos, can you try to be vague in the thumbnails, titles? Many people just kind of make obvious spoilers, even if vague in videos like such, before anyone gets to do said things, which is saddening because a game like this has a load of content and will take time to go through. Anyway, I like your videos and have been watching them for years now. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you very much. Actually, yes, I know about this problem. I am aware I was actually spoiled a few times by annoying thumbnails. So yes, I will actually be vague in my thumbnails and title. I don't like just putting everything out there. You know, the title is like this character killed this character in Stalker 2 and you see everything in the thumbnail. Hell no, man. Get that shit out of my sight. So no, I'm not gonna do that. I mean, there could be like very small hints of spoilers in the thumbnail, but I'm gonna try to avoid it as much as possible. And in fact, I don't know if you noticed, but in my playthrough, in the thumbnails of my playthrough and even in the titles, I tried to already be vague. Like, I only uploaded thumbnails showing just screenshots of locations, no cutscene, no characters, nothing like this. Because I know this is an issue, so yeah, definitely I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try to do that as much as possible. Where are you from? Well, France. Shocking, right? I know. Why is your name the Anomalous Dugout, and what's with the door and artifacts on your channel picture? Okay, actually, this is a bit of a story. I never intended for me specifically to be called Anomalous Dugout. The Anomalous Dugout was always supposed to be just the name of the channel of the place, right? The door that you can see on my channel, like the main picture, is just supposed to be the door to the Anomalous Dugout. That was the initial idea, but eventually people started to call me Anomalous or just Anomalous Dugout. And yeah, the name sticked because that makes sense, right? So yeah, my original idea is just, I guess, gone, and now this has become my name, I guess. That's how it happened. That's the small story behind it. And the artifacts on the channel banner are just there because I like these artifacts, and I like to think that my videos are a bit like artifacts, you know, they pop up and you enjoy the moment you get to catch them. You know what I mean? Would be nice to see a video about original trilogy plot holes given the changed map. Yes, I am actually working on a video that would imagine the journeys of the original characters in the new map. So just imagine, for example, Mark One's journey, his transitions through the locations, but in the new Stalker map, Stalker II map. I'm actually planning to do a video like this. Okay, you can go to the Anomalous Dugout in the Red Forest mineshaft. I mean, you can get to the door. Yeah, so if you don't know, the picture for my door is taken from the mine in the Red Forest in Clear Sky. But you know what GSC did to me? They did me dirty in Stalker 2. Okay, spoiler. In Stalker 2, the door is not there anymore. They removed it. So they cancelled me, basically. Yeah, that was a bit harsh on their part. Yeah. Hashtag mod the door back. No, just don't mod it. Add it in an update. Please, GSC. It's a matter of life and death. Alright. Retconned. Yeah, I got retconned, guys. I don't exist anymore. Bye-bye. This is gonna be the end. Nah, I'm still here. I'm still here, of course. Okay. What's your favorite weapon plus armor in any of the Stalker games? Well, weapons, I already said it a bit earlier. Armor, I mean, exoskeleton is definitely cool if you can run into it, of course. So you're gonna really need the upgrade to run. Apart from this, I guess all the armors based on Seva are pretty cool. I really like them. Will you ever unban Lesko? Okay. You know what? maybe if he asks nicely, maybe I can unban him. I wonder if he's actually watching the stream. It would be funny. Alright. Are you having a good day, night? Thank you for helping me get into Stalker. Well, it's my pleasure, man. Really always happy to get people into Stalker. I mean, yeah, it was a good day. I mean, a Friday is usually always a good day because it's the start of the weekend, right? So yeah, it's a pretty good day. Do you have any favorite games besides Stalker series? Well, I said earlier, Half-Life. I really enjoyed Metro, of course, I guess, and many others, but these are the ones that come to mind. Hold on, is this the... okay, no, I thought it was the last question. What would you like to see in the upcoming DLC? CNPP? Yes. Exterior of the generators? Yeah, for sure. The game feels like they went all out to complete all the unfinished story threads, probably since they couldn't be sure if they'd ever be able to make another. But where do you think the Stalker series could go from here with so many mysteries resolved? Yes, it's true that many mysteries have been resolved, but also many more have appeared, and even more could appear in the future expansions. So I think the series can go in many different directions, especially since we don't know still which ending of the new game is canon. We have a pretty strong idea of which ending is canon, but we don't have a confirmation just yet. At least I don't think so. So yeah, there's many directions, and I'm really excited to see what GSC can come up with. But it will take some time, and for the moment I'm enjoying what we have, and in time we will get new stuff and we'll be able to enjoy it. Alright, hold on, what ethnicity of food is your favorite? Does food have ethnicity? No way, right? I've never heard of anything like this. I guess it means like what kind of food, I suppose. I mean, I like a lot of different kinds of food. I am somebody who enjoys eating, you know what I mean. But yeah, I don't know really what I'm a food racist. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I guess I just move on. Native language? Well, French. I know. A lot of people are gonna be disgusted by this for some reason. But it's not that bad, guys. Oh no. Speaking of which, the timing couldn't be more perfect. This is a French question. Okay, so OM ou PSG, pain au chocolat ou chocolatine, histoire de te situer un peu plus géographiquement. I don't really watch football, so I can't tell you really. I don't really care about the different clubs. What I can tell you is that where I come from, we say pain au chocolat. I'm not gonna tell you more. I don't want to dox myself. What are planning for the future? Well, I already talked about it a lot in the stream already, but yeah, I'm still piecing out together everything that is in the new game, collecting information and stuff, and at the same time planning for future videos. Yeah, here is the French, guys. You know, if you like me, you have to endure it. Come on, it's not that bad. Don't be like this. And yeah, I know everybody's waiting for the lore videos. They're gonna come eventually. Alright. One big lore question I've been thinking about. Do you think the reason Monolith have infinite equipment and the strongest exosuits is because they used to be the scientists for Project X? I think Forrester in Clear Sky mentioned a signal happening in Limansk turning people crazy is probably the same that turned the Noontiders back to Monolithians, which could answer Ladoshka's question about Core's expertise in technology. Okay, so the signal in Limansk was not turning people crazy. It was just SOS, like cries of help from stalkers trapped into space anomalies. At least that's what it was in Clear Sky. However, in Stalker 2 we can hear some strange signal coming from Limansk. Who knows what it is? But it doesn't seem to be the signal that turned Noontiders back into Monolithians. However, it is very much possible that some of the Monolithians were originally scientists or personnel from Project X. In fact, spoiler, Korshunov reveals that the Granite Squad, which is at the end of the game, the Monolith Squad defending Laboratory X7, was at the beginning the guards for this laboratory, and Korshunov was part of them. It was his men. And on top of that, the sea consciousness representative said that as soon as they became sea consciousness, they subordinated those who were conducting the experiment. That's his words. It could be interpreted in different ways, but I think it means that they just took control of the other scientists around them. So yeah, it's possible these or some of these became Monolithians. And yeah, it could be that Kors was originally a technician in X Labs and he became a Monolithian. It's possible. Who knows? To be honest, I want Stalker 2 lore vids. They're gonna come. Please be patient. I got some interesting theories and I'm sure you do as well. Yeah, of course. If you have theories, feel free to share them. We never got enough of these, so yeah. Just share them around and eventually they will reach me. How do you think Limansk is going to be utilized as DLC? What about the other areas on the leaked map? I don't really know the leaked map. I haven't seen any of the leaks. But yeah, the snow is also something that we expect to see in a potential expansion. How could Limansk be utilized? There are many ways. I wish to see how they will explain the presence of the old radar there that is kind of like the Duga but smaller. If it actually comes back, because it's possible they would have retconned it or at least changed its appearance a bit. But yeah, I really want to see what the Radio Wave Institute that is in the city was all about. But to tell how Limansk will be utilized exactly is very difficult. All we have for the moment is a strange radio transmission, a radio signal coming from there, which kind of feels like some creepy thing or horror thing is going on there. So it's definitely possible the city will be used as some kind of supernatural location with some fear factor going on. But who knows? It's maybe not. I guess we will see. But I'm like almost 100% convinced that Limansk will be in DLC. If you could give the mercenaries a backstory or explanation, how would it go? On that topic, I really suggest you go and see Meshenez's video on this issue. He has a theory about the mercs that I really like, trying to explain who their client is and what they're doing in the zone. So yeah, go and check out Machinist video. That's all I'm gonna say. That gives you a reason to go check out his channel as well. Did you watch Tarkovsky's Stalker? Yes, I did. Your thoughts on it? It's just a great film, you know. A lot of people call it a masterpiece, and I can definitely see why. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I want to say about it. It's great. It has quite a different vibe from the Stalker games, of course. It's different, but I enjoy both a lot. Get out of my feet, Stalker. Well, you get out of it, Stalker. What are you doing here? I'm kidding. I said come in, don't stand there. Alright. I think we're getting close to the end, guys. What country are you from? France, again. Sorry, guys. I don't want to bring it up, but they're asking, so I have to. What is it like to live there? It's pretty nice. I like it. I'm not complaining. Have you ever visited the CNPP in real life? No, I haven't. Never went to Ukraine, actually. But I'm thinking maybe one day we'll be able to go there. Now is probably not a good time, but one day. Would you consider doing playthroughs of the previous Stalker games? I loved your Stalker II playthrough, and listen to your thoughts on the older games and previous story would be fascinating for context. I think probably not. I mean, I considered doing it before Stalker 2, but now that the new game is here, I think it's not really that relevant to go back to the previous games. But the biggest factor that pushes me to say no is the fact that there are already so many playthroughs on the original games. I just don't want to bloat the platform with one more playthrough on a game that's already been overdone, you know what I mean? So I'd say probably no, but who knows? Everything is possible. Maybe, you know, if the updates on the Legends of the Zone end up being bigger than what I anticipated, it could be a good way to see what's going on with these updates and revisit the old games and make a playthrough at the same time. So who knows? Will you ever make lore videos or updates or update the old ones now that you've played Stalker 2? Yes, there will be lore videos on Stalker 2. Update the old ones, maybe some of them. I still haven't figured out everything. But yeah, about Stalker 2 specifically, yeah, for sure, there will be. It will come. Be patient, please. It will come. Do the OG games playthrough but speedrun it? I mean, I'm not really a speedrunner. I know you can speedrun Shadow of Chernobyl in like 10 minutes, Clear Sky in, yeah, same, like 7 minutes or something. Call of Pripyat takes a bit longer. But these speedruns, they're pretty impressive, of course, but they're not really that fun, in my opinion. It's just basically running towards the center of the zone, and that's it. Alright, what country are you from? Again, guys, it's not me bringing it up. They're asking, but I've already answered, so I'm gonna spare you from saying it again. Chosen faction. Well, I guess now either scientists or loners, as I already said. Do you like the current distribution of the map, or do you prefer the map of Legends of the Zone? Well, I like the map in Stalker 2, but there are some changes that do like rub me the wrong way. I'm gonna talk about them in a specific video. So I couldn't really say I prefer the Legends of the Zone map because it's not even consistent between the different games. Like you can see already differences between Shadow of Chernobyl, Clear Sky, Call of Pripyat changed the place of Pripyat itself. Like, it's never been consistent. There's always been retcons and changes, so I expected the same to happen in Stalker 2. So yeah, I like the current way the map is. I understand that they had to make some changes, even though some I'm not really happy about. Do you guys really want to know where I'm from? I see people are insisting. But no, I'm not gonna bother you with that. Would you want to see new cut mutant in future Stalker game like Mutated Horse? Oh, the Tark. Well, if they are done right, yes. But it's very easy to just add cut mutants and do them wrong. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just about bringing back a cut mutant. You have to make it unique in some way, make it fit into the current roster of mutants, give it abilities that will be memorable, and not just, you know, a clone of, you know, the Tark could be, for example, just another clone of the deer. We don't want that. We want every mutant to be memorable and unique. So if it is the case, yeah, of course, I'm all for it. Your thoughts on Stalker 2? Well, I think I've already talked about it enough. I like it? Of course. Anything you really don't like? You know what? The thing I like the least, or that I dislike the most, I guess, is the save system. For the moment, the save system is such a downgrade from the original trilogy. And this is actually really hurting the process of making videos. Oh, Starion is here! Welcome, man! How are you doing? Also, guys, check out Starion Costumes. He makes some great cosplays. In case you don't know, so many people are stopping by. It's great. But yeah, the save system is really a downgrade because previously you could just save anywhere, has many saves as you want, and give them names, and you could also see the time of in-game when you put the save, the location, and things like this, and you also saw a screenshot of what was happening in the save. Basically, all of this is gone. Now you have a limited amount of saves. I think it's 30 hard saves for each slot. So you have 3 slots of 30 saves. You can't name the saves. You can't see what is happening because there's no screenshot of what was happening. So yeah, it's extremely limiting, and for videos, it's really a problem. Because let me tell you, in the original games, I have hundreds and hundreds of saves. Basically everywhere in the game, at every important moment, before every important dialogue, I have a save. But in Stalker 2, it's not possible because you have limited saves and the game is so big, it's impossible to save everywhere. So it means if you want to capture a specific thing for a video, you have to replay large parts of the game. First of all, find the save that is before what you need, which is already going to be difficult because you can't give names to saves, and then replay significant parts. So yeah, for me, this is really something they have to change. And they said they will be looking into it, but it's not a priority, so I don't expect this to be updated anytime soon, unfortunately. But for me, this is really the most damaging thing I can see in the game. For the moment. I mean, it's only gonna get better, so I guess it's always gonna stay the most damaging thing for me, in my opinion. Anyway, the rant is over. As we know from Stalker 2 plots, okay, so spoilers. The Monolith is the alpha artifact that what caused probably the Caribbean experiment. By Caribbean experiment, sorry. I'm a bit tired. It's been a long time, so I'm having some difficulties to read. Does it mean that the Monolith is actually real to your opinion? So the bad ending of Mark I, where he wished for power and Monolith consumes him in some ways, true? No, I don't think the alpha artifact is the Monolith. I've definitely seen some theories about the alpha artifact being linked to the Monolith, and I do need to dig deeper into that. But no, the Monolith, in my opinion, was never real. It's always been an illusion, a device, an advanced type of psi emitter that gives you very specific illusions. And you can even see it in Stalker 2 inside the Circa. So no, for me the Monolith was never real. But it is possible the alpha artifact has some kind of connection to it that I will have to investigate. Alright, any chance that we can get some updated faction lore like for Duty and Freedom in Stalker 2, since they have changed a lot in the 20 years since the OG Stalker games? Oh, it's not been 20 years, come on, not that long. Would love to hear some lore about the World and Circa. I cannot find any lore videos for the World or Circa. It's weird, I'm pretty sure some lore videos exist. Maybe not of the same quality you've come to expect, but people were really quick about making lore videos about everything when Stalker 2 came out. So can we expect some updated faction lore? Maybe, but it's not really a priority for me at the moment. I really want to talk about some specific parts of the story before going into the factions. So it's possible, but not immediately, maybe later. And guys, that was the last question, actually. Finally. Damn, that was long. Hold on, let me get back the background. So yeah, that was the last question. So I guess I can just answer the questions in the chat now if you have any questions. And yeah, how did you guys enjoy the stream? I want to know as well what you guys think. Like, what did you think of the format, how I'm speaking, everything? It's my first time doing this, so let me know. Oh, your question didn't make it, really? I thought I took all of them. What was your question, guy? Nathan, what was your question? I can answer it now. Will I be at Gamescom? And if I want to go for a burger? Honestly, I don't know. When is the Gamescom? I'm gonna have to check, but maybe I can come. I would love to come. I'll have to check when it is. Streaming plans for the future? Honestly, no. I was just doing this because, I mean, it was a good occasion to do it, and it coincided with my connection getting better finally. But I don't plan to regularly stream or anything. It's not something that I'm good about. Like here I can talk pretty freely without much problems because I'm just talking. But I know that when I was playing, like in the playthrough, I was having a lot of difficulties to like talk coherently and play at the same time. So I'm not really thinking about streaming regularly, but for special occasions, yeah, I could definitely do more streams like this. Okay, so Gamescom is gonna be in August. It's a long way away. I don't know yet, but maybe I can plan to come. To be honest, I'm gonna have to see. If GSC is there, why not? Would be dope to come. Okay, how do I collect lore for videos? Do you have a document or something to record all the stuff you learn? How does your video process work from creating it or posting? Okay, so for the original Stalker games, so not for Stalker 2, basically I would choose a topic based on, how to say this, a topic that I think is worth talking about, but that people haven't talked about yet. You know what I mean? Or that I think I could explain in more depth than others have done already. And then the process is to replay every part of the games that involved this topic, to remember how it was presented in the games and also record footage at the same time. So, for example, let's say I want to do a video about a certain faction. I don't know, let's say the mercenaries. I'm gonna replay most, and if possible, all the instances where you meet or learn about mercenaries in all 3 games. Record so that I can gather footage, and from that I can write my script and make my video. So yeah, it's a very long and thorough process, but that's how you get the best results and also be as exhaustive as possible. Of course, since I know the original Stalker games that much, usually when I think about a topic, I already know, oh, I need to look there. This dialogue is linked to it. This NPC talks about this thing that is connected to it as well. And it is also linked to the saves I talked about earlier. I know I have a save, especially at this point in the game, that is going to give me this dialogue instantly, so I can go screenshot it or record it or whatever. That's how I was doing it for the previous games. But with Stalker 2, I have to build everything from the ground up. I already talked about the save system not allowing to do that anymore. So now, what I'm doing currently is I'm recording everything important, recording every cutscene, screenshotting every piece of document, PDA entries, characters, dialogues, everything I can. But there's so much. So basically, I'm exploring the game and collecting data. That's what I'm doing right now. I've done a lot, but there's still a lot to do. So that's why I can't tell you when the lore videos will start to come. Okay. That's one question down. Next one. Okay, have you heard about this Stalker YouTuber? Best in his niche. Operator Drewski? Yeah, I heard about him, but I never watched him. And I don't really intend to. The true lore YouTubers rule? I don't know. Alright, people are saying they enjoy the stream. That's nice. YouTube streams give revenue? I have no idea. Maybe if you monetize them, but that's not my case. What's something I miss from the old games that I still have hope it will be added to Stalker 2 besides the save system? Something that I miss? I'm not sure. I can't really think about anything for the moment besides locations. Some locations. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I know, actually. You know, something that I found a bit disappointing is that all artifacts, or at least as far as I could see, I don't think I collected all artifacts yet, but all artifacts have the same downside of radiation. And I don't know, it's just generic and a little bit boring. I really liked in Shadow of Chernobyl that artifacts could have different kinds of negative effects. But yeah, they just removed it. They went with the Clear Sky and Call of Pripyat way, and I don't really like that. I mean, they have so many artifacts, but many of them just have the same effects. I wish I wish they made all artifacts unique and with more different kinds of properties. Okay. Do we have another question to answer? I'm falling behind in the chat. Thoughts on Richter? I really enjoyed his character. And yeah, spoilers, but depending on your choices, he will end up in different places. I mean, some different things will happen to him. And yeah, it was really hard for me to go against him and have to confront him. Not gonna say more, but same thing for Strider, actually. Like, I felt so bad not siding with him. But I had to just collect information. Oh yeah, the compass ability would be so cool to see in gameplay, definitely. Yeah, I know Liquid Rock has no rads, but it doesn't have any negative effects. But yeah, and there's also the special artifacts from Arch Anomalies, but these are special, right? I'm talking about normal artifacts. The only downside is just radiation. In Shadow of Chernobyl, you had artifacts that decreased your resistance, that decreased your endurance, things like this. No, they were not broken, in my opinion. You know, the artifacts were the most powerful in Clear Sky, actually. I mean, depends which kind of artifacts, but like, for example, the carry weight artifacts, the health regen, and endurance regen artifacts were at their best in Clear Sky. But they were also the hardest to get because they didn't really respawn, or that was a bit broken. And anomalies in Clear Sky were especially unforgiving. Okay, spoiler question. While asking for Stark in the Rookie Village, the medic mentioned about the Mark I savior. Yes, he's named Red. Could it be a nod to the Roadside Picnic book? Yes, absolutely. This character, even before his name was Red, I think was already a nod to the protagonist of Roadside Picnic in Shadow of Chernobyl. It was already the case, I'm pretty sure. But now they just made it even more obvious by giving him this name. Top 3 armors. Seva, Exoskeleton, and I don't know. I guess what would be the third one? I guess the Clear Sky suit, CS3 or CS1 depending on the game. Would you think we could see him in the game? Oh, Red. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's not in the game, but it would be definitely interesting to see him. Who do you think Skiff as a character would side with? I mean, Skiff follows his own path, so I guess he's just gonna side with whoever helps him reach his goals. But eventually he will just do his own thing. Yeah, artifacts are supposed to be broken. I like the fact that they were very powerful. Now in Stalker 2 you get a weight artifact and it adds 3 kilograms. Like, this is ridiculous. Just don't use it. Like, it's pretty much useless. Do you agree that military Stalker suit from Shadow of Chernobyl is best drip? Oh yeah, I know what the third best armor could be. It could be the Bulat. Bulat is pretty nice. But yeah, the military suits are pretty drippy, I would say. Like the Bulat and the Beryl. They have some very nice design. Definitely, I like them. Yeah, Scat 9M is peak. It's peak. Especially the black version. Duty is useless faction. Coin, stop being so divisive. We know you think the renegades are the best, but rank the mutants from most annoying to best. Oh, in Stalker 2, the Bloodsucker is really annoying. Yeah, he's really annoying. But yeah, I'm not gonna rank them like all, but definitely the Bloodsucker is, I think, the most annoying. Is it unfair that NPCs get binoculars and the player doesn't? I mean, the player has other advantages that the NPCs don't get, so I don't know. Okay, the chat is going a little bit crazy. I'm gonna take some time to drink water. The rats, oh yeah, the rats are very annoying if you don't have a grenade. But with grenades, they can be dealt with. They're not too bad if you have some well-placed grenades. How do you feel about Sidorovich listening to the same song on repeat for over 10 years? Well, maybe not on repeat, but you know what? I've been listening to DH for the Planet for more than 10 years. And I'm not tired of it, so I understand him. The Bloodsucker became too easy after it got patched, balanced. The first one, yes. The others, I feel like they're fine. But yeah, the very first one you meet, it was like night and day. I played on the released version, and it took like 2 mag dumps from an assault rifle to get killed. And it was really challenging. When I started my third playthrough, the Bloodsucker died in like 5 bullets. Like that, the difference was like crazy. The toned it down so much. But after that, when you meet like normal Bloodsuckers, I feel like now they're, I wouldn't say they're too easy. I mean, the Bloodsuckers in the original trilogy were never really hard to begin with. So I feel like they are where they should be, especially how often they pop up. If they were like more rare, I could understand them being a bit stronger. But they're very common, so. Do you like the stealth in Stalker 2? Yes, I actually think the stealth is pretty nice. I mean, it's a huge upgrade compared to the previous games, in which actually the stealth kind of worked as long as you didn't save. Because if you saved and loaded a save, it would always break the stealth. But this is not the case anymore. They actually fixed this. So this is nice. And yeah, enemies will see you if you... They will detect you if you like uh, mess up. But it's just that the stealth in Stalker is, I'd say, more realistic than in other games. Like usually in stealth games, enemies are extremely dumbed down. Like there's no way you would be able to sneak like this, and people in real life wouldn't see you. But in Stalker, it feels like the NPCs are more closer to actual real people. Like if you make a noise or just pass into their the limit of their vision, they will see you, like just like a normal human would. You just have to approach stealth with a different mindset than in other games, other mainstream games, right? You have to think that every NPC is just like a normal human being, and then it becomes more natural. Yeah. Mutants need to be tough. Yeah, of course. But not bullet sponges. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the poltergeist is also, I guess, putting a poltergeist right at the beginning. Like basically, the first mutant you encounter is a flesh, which is fine. But then it's immediately a bloodsucker followed by a poltergeist. Like they didn't go easy on the newcomers. That was a bit too much, I think. Yeah, Starion made a great survival guide to bloodsuckers. Yeah, that's true. What do I think happened to Professor Sakharov? Oh, that's interesting. Because, well, spoilers, in Stalker 2, the entire area is completely deserted. The bunker is still here, but it's abandoned. Honestly, I don't know what happened, and I'm interested to try to figure out what it was. It seems like everything was abandoned, and maybe there are some clues or dialogues mentioning it in the game, but I don't remember seeing it for the moment. So yeah, I don't really know what happened, but I'm curious to try to get more information about this mystery. All right. So, do you guys have final questions? I mean, it's been 3 hours streaming already, so I think I'm gonna stop soon. So, last questions, please. Do you think the weather getting rainy forever when reaching Pripyat is a thing from the game or an actually bug? I'm not sure. At the beginning, I was kind of convinced it was like normal, but I've seen also people who don't have this, so I'm not sure if it's a bug or not. I think I saw some people talking about it, and they were saying that maybe it's actually tied to the choices you make in the story, but I'm not sure. Honestly, I don't know. I think it could definitely be like programmed and meant to be that way, but it could also very much be a bug. So I'm not really sure. I don't really know. But either way, well, when I went there, it was definitely rainy all the time. But I used a console command to take some better screenshots with the there are some commands that can change the weather. But yeah, it seems intentional. I feel like it seems intentional, but at the same time I saw people that didn't have this shitty weather for some reason. So hold on, did I miss some questions? Okay, spoiler. What do I think about the reveal that Scar was brainwashed before the events of Clear Sky? It's definitely weird. We know he was brainwashed after, but before. But I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Honestly, I need to investigate this matter more. Right now, I can't really answer because I feel like I don't have enough information. I know I'm saying that a lot, but it's true. I prefer to have like strong knowledge of what I'm talking about before getting into it. So I need to research this topic more for sure. But it feels wrong. Like without more context, it feels very strange. Is there any area from the previous games you hope to explore in Stalker 2 that wasn't explorable? X16, yeah, I agree. I wanted to see what would happen, like because the emissions had been deactivated there. So my idea would be that perhaps the scientists could have used it as their base while they were studying the machine there. And you would have been able to meet Sakharov and Kruglov and other scientists there. That was one of my ideas, but yeah, we couldn't get to X16, unfortunately. So yeah, I would agree. I hope to see X16 as well. Even royalty fan film? I guess that's Shadow of the Zone. I haven't seen it. Okay, the stream was epic. Well, I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, there's few underground and labs. I wouldn't say there's few. There was definitely quite a lot of them. But a bit more wouldn't hurt. I agree. Kruglov not being in the game is a crime. Well, he can still be there in an expansion. Oh, the locked door in one of the hallways? Oh, you mean... I think you're talking about the door to the locker room, right? Well, no, I couldn't get inside. I didn't find the key. So I'm not sure if it's impossible to get there or if the key is very well hidden, but I couldn't find the key. If you're talking about the locker room. So I'm gonna have to use some sort of... I don't know... fly command or to get inside and see what's there. Is there a bread artifact? I don't think so, but there is a bread armor, a developer item. Guys, tone down the political stuff. We're here to talk about Stalker. Yeah, no clip. That's the what I was looking for. Thank you. Oh yeah, there's Scar's Toast. Yeah, I'm gonna no clip into many places, but for the moment I'm still exploring it in a legit way. But I'm definitely gonna explore it in no clip. Oh yeah, the Freedom Unique bread. It's not anomalous, but generators during an emission. Yeah, I saw it. It's beautiful. Alright guys, I think I've answered a lot of questions today. I'm a bit tired. So I think I'm gonna have to stop the stream soon. I hope you liked it. It was really nice talking to all of you, interacting. Full empty like in Roadside Picnic. Full empty? I'm not sure. I mean, there is the shell artifact, just like it was in Call of Pripyat. Do I know about Pripyat Underground? You mean the server? Yes, I know. I was there actually, but I left after some stuff happened. So I'm not really considering coming back. Sorry. I was in Pripyat Underground. I was, for real. But I left because some shit happened. Anyway, guys, I think that's gonna be it for today's stream. It was really nice talking to you all, and yeah, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you, I guess, soon enough when the time comes. All right, bye everybody. Good hunting, stalkers.